If there's nothing there, you did nothing wrong. Let the facts speak for themselves. Let the truth shine, Donald Trump. Instead, now you're having secret meetings at J.D. Vance's house. All the distractions that Donald Trump is attempting to put forth to take attention away from his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein, his nearly 2 decades-long best friendship with a notorious rapist of children, trafficker of children, and now Donald Trump's efforts to give a sweetheart deal to her too. All of this is happening. And as much as Donald Trump wants to play dumb guy, I don't know. I have no idea what the DOJ is doing about this. I don't know. Is my name in the files? What? I don't know. In every other way, Donald Trump rules the federal government with an iron fist. The judiciary, he's in control. The executive, of course, he's in control. The legislative branch, Donald Trump believes he controls. But if you ask him about the Epstein, what? Where am I? What? He just has no idea. Every other thing, he knows everything about it. Nobody knows more about this than me. But if it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, all of a sudden he's drawn a blank. How convenient for him, right? Well, yesterday he was asked about the upgrade in accommodations for Ghislaine Maxwell, that she was moved against the Bureau of Prisons rules as a sexual predator, moved to a minimum security, non-maximum security facility that had to have approval. He's asked about it. Oh, I don't know anything about this. All while we're learning that the highest levels of our government are meeting at the vice president's house. Pam Bondi, the idiots at the FBI, the White House chief of staff, they're all going to gather to discuss releasing the Epstein files. How they're going to do it. They're strategizing right now on how to protect Donald Trump. So all of his bluster about not knowing is just a lie. It is absolutely transparent, obvious, clear as day, self-evident, if you will. He's lying. Watch this clip from yesterday when he talked about it. And then I'm going to read this exclusive reporting from CNN about the meeting that is planned for J.D. Vance's living room about how they're going to try to get Donald Trump out of trouble.
President Trump, 2 questions for you. One, were you aware of and did you personally approve the prison transfer for Ghislaine Maxwell that your Justice Department?
I didn't know about it at all. No, I read about it just like you did.
And do you believe that she is?
It's not a very uncommon thing.
Do you believe that she's credible to be listening to? Your Deputy Attorney General sat down with her recently. Well,
let me tell you, he's a very talented man. His name is Todd Blanche. He's a very legitimate person, very high. I just a very highly thought of person, respected by everybody. And I didn't talk to him about it, but I will tell you that whatever he asked would be totally appropriate. And it's not an uncommon thing to do that. And I think he probably wants to make sure that, people that should not be involved or aren't involved are not hurt by something that would be very, very unfortunate, very unfair to a lot of people. But I will say this, Todd Blanche is one of the most highly respected people you'll ever meet. So I know this. I didn't discuss it with him, but anything he talked about with her or the fact that he did that, not unusual, number one, and most importantly is something that would be totally above board.
The question that wasn't asked there as a follow-up is, well, are you going to see that she's put back into maximum security? Did you know doesn't really get us anywhere. Do you think she's credible doesn't really get us anywhere unless you follow it up with, okay, well, now that you know she's not in maximum security anymore, are you going to see that she's put back? Because the whole I don't know doesn't play. The whole Todd Blanche is super credible doesn't play. He was your personal defense attorney. It doesn't play. Here's a headline from CNN. Top Trump officials will discuss Epstein strategy at Wednesday dinner hosted by J.D. Vance. Top Trump administration officials will gather at the vice president's residence Wednesday evening as they continue to weigh whether to publish an audio recording and transcript of Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche's recent conversation with Jeffrey Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, listen, I know people get tired of this thought exercise. That imagine if Joe Biden's chief of staff and Kamala Harris and the rest of the cast of characters, Christopher Wray and Merrick Garland, if they had all met at Kamala Harris's house to coordinate on how they were going to try to get Joe Biden out of some trouble that Joe Biden himself said, oh, I don't know what's going on. Everything's fine. Imagine what the right wing would be doing right now. Imagine what the headlines and the chyrons would be running across the New York Post and the Wall Street Journal and Fox News and Newsmax. What would they be like? There would be apoplectic fucking nosebleeds all over right-wing media. But because it's Donald Trump and they're running interference for him, they're trying to cover for him, it's crickets. Nothing. Because they want Donald Trump to be extricated from this trouble. They want him to be able to cover for himself. They themselves are covering for someone who possibly, many people are saying, he is probably a rapist of children. Donald Trump. The administration's handling of the Epstein case, as well as the need to craft a unified response, is expected to be the main focus of the dinner, three sources familiar with the meeting told CNN. The meeting will include White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, Vice President J.D. Vance, Attorney General of the United States of America Pam Bondi, the Federal Bureau of Investigation Director Kash Patel, and Donald Trump's former personal attorney and now high up in the Justice Department, Todd Blanche. With the exception of Vance, the White House considers those officials the leaders of the administration's ongoing strategy regarding the Epstein files, two of the sources said. The meeting comes as Trump's administration is considering releasing the contents of Blanche's interview last month with Maxwell. Two officials told CNN that the materials could be made public as early as this week. There have also been internal discussions about Blanche holding a press conference or doing a high-profile interview, possibly with popular podcaster Joe Rogan. According to three people familiar with the discussions, though those conversations are preliminary. Rogan, who endorsed Trump on the eve of last fall's election, has been highly critical of the Trump administration's handling of the Epstein case and previously called their refusal release, I'm assuming CNN left out the word to, and previously called their refusal to release more information about Epstein a line in the sand. And then finally, the Department of Justice did not respond. Of course they did not respond to a request for comment for this story. The FBI, of course they did, declined to comment. Patel and Bondi have previously clashed over the administration's Epstein strategy. The DOJ, I don't know that it needs to be said, but I guess it has to be said. The DOJ should be independent. The FBI should run independent of covering for Donald Trump. But just like in the first administration, these organizations, these entities, these government entities serve at the pleasure of the president up to and including being his personal law firm, the DOJ, and his personal secret police force, there to ensure he is covered, to ensure that every single mention of his name, and there are likely hundreds or thousands of mentions, he's covered. It's redacted. It's framed in a different way than what reality is. This is what they're doing. Otherwise, just release the fucking files. If there's nothing there, you did nothing wrong. Let the facts speak for themselves. Let the truth shine, Donald Trump. Instead, now you're having secret meetings at J.D. Vance's house, directly contrary to what you said in your statement that you don't know anything. Oh, yeah, the DOJ, they're doing their own thing. It's all just lies. Luckily, the story is still hanging on by a thread. Luckily. I don't know how. I'm a little surprised by it. But I'm going to do everything I can do to keep this story front and center, because this is the thing. This is the thing right now, the most ammunition we have, because it's something that MAGA actually cares about. And not like in a false, I think MAGA really cares about this. And there's starting to be cracks around Donald Trump that they're realizing, the guy we thought was going to be the savior of the children is actually probably the predator of the children. These are the thoughts that MAGA is having right now. And I, for one, am here to encourage that. Anyway, what do you think out there? I would love your opinions. You can comment below in the comment section. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me the old-fashioned way, daily@dollemore.com. Please consider supporting this work, helping produce these videos on a day-by-day basis. You can click the join button below this video on YouTube. You can become a subscriber on Facebook. You can go to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. All great ways to help support this work. But moreover, the most important way is to make sure you're subscribed and to share this content, like this content, comment on this content wherever you see it. Anyway, I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.